Welcome into a bonus edition of Hockey Inside Out. Let's talk about Lane Hutson and his size that he's at right now. Do you think he can play at the NHL at that current size? Gentlemen, you guys saw up and close how he was in the rookie camp this past week. So what is the future says for Lane Hutson at the NHL level?
Well, look, let's face it, lots of hype about this young man with what he brings to the game. 5'8", 155 pounds. I hope he can really skate because you don't want to get him in a situation where he has to do a lot of battling. But look, he's very, very skilled, has tremendous ability to be involved in everything on the offense. I don't think with today's game the size is as critical. You just have to make sure that you maybe complement him with a partner that's going to help him out, in the defensive zone, and and let this kid play because he does have the talent. Size, I don't think, is going to be a real issue because of his intelligence and his ability to get from point A to point B flawlessly, and obviously with his intelligence to make plays is a huge bonus to have, and might be a big piece of the struggling power play that the Canadiens have been looking for a quarterback for quite a few years now. So nothing but good things to hear. And now let's see how he handles himself when he gets a chance to play in the big league.
His height, 5'9", doesn't concern me as much as his weight, 158 pounds, does. I remember when they drafted Cole Caulfield in Vancouver, and Cole came by, and I couldn't believe how small he was. But you look at Cole Caulfield now; it's a different physique. He's added quite a bit of muscle and strength since the Canadiens drafted him, and that's exactly what Lane Hutson's going to have to do. He's going to have to spend time in the gym. He's going to have to add weight. He told us at the development camp that his doctors said that his growth plate is still open. He can still he's got his older brother's 5'11", which is a good sign that the potential growth. The thing I noticed interviewing him when he was just wearing a t-shirt and shorts is just how skinny his legs are. Really skinny little legs. He's going to have to develop his lower body. Today's NHL player, the Nick Suzuki's, the Sidney Crosby's of the world, most of their weight is a lower body to win puck battles, and especially as a defenseman. And it was interesting talking with Jaden Struble, the second-round pick the year the Canadiens took Cole Caulfield in the first round. 6 foot, 201-pound defenseman, played 4 years of NCAA hockey, and then he finished last season with the Laval Rocket. And we were asking him what one of the biggest adjustment was, and he said in NCAA hockey, when he'd shove a guy into the boards, they'd usually fall or knock off on the puck. And in the AHL, they didn't. In the AHL, you couldn't knock him off. This is not even talking the NHL. We're talking the AHL, going from university hockey to the AHL. Guys are just bigger and stronger, not necessarily taller, but heavier. So for a defenseman, for Lane Hutson, 158 pounds, I can't see him playing in the NHL. But he's going back up at the university again next season. Eat well, train well. If he can add at least another 10 pounds, 10, 15 pounds, to just be able to win puck battles, to be able to play defense with some kind of physicality. There's other ways to play defense now, using your stick, using your size. Quinn Hughes, an example, in Vancouver. Cale Makar's not the biggest guy in the world tall, but he's like 180 pounds. So that's the thing that Hutson, he's got to get bigger and stronger. If he can add 15 pounds of muscle or 15 pounds of weight, I see him playing in the NHL. He's going to get a chance to play in the NHL, but under 160 pounds playing defense in the NHL, I just don't see how that's possible.
Yeah, the advantage that he has is he is going back to university, right? And there's lots of time playing NCAA hockey where you get time in the gym, where you can build that muscle, put on that weight. He's still a kid. He's still a teen at 19 years old. He had a fantastic year last year, record-breaking year in the NCAA. I think the thing with Lane Hutson is there's a lot of focus on size with small players, and I understand it because it is a limitation. But every player has limitations, and we focus on size as if it's the only limitation a lot of the time. There are guys like Ben Sherratt, right, who has the size, who has the skating as well, but he was an extremely limited player because his intelligence as a hockey player just was not there. Lane Hutson, on the other hand, is a complete opposite. He doesn't have the size. There'll be limitations for him his entire career in front of the net, right? Jared Spurgeon, phenomenal hockey player, smallest defenseman in the league, I believe, has trouble moving guys in front of the net unless he starts to play dirty, which he does sometimes. I believe he caught someone on the Montreal Canadiens last year. I think it was Mike Hoffman, and concussed him with a little shoulder to the head. So maybe Lane Hutson has to add some dirt to his game. But overall, I think what's going to save him and make him a long-term NHL player is his smarts. He may not have to win puck battles because he'll be on the puck first, whether it's speed or knowing where the puck's going. His instincts are spectacular. His ability to beat guys along the wall and come off the wall is incredible. One thing that I noticed in the scrimmage that they did was there were guys who would physically get him, and he would end up with the puck anyway. Whether it was, I believe it was McKay hit him in open ice in the offensive zone, caused a rush the other way, and it looked like it was going to be a scoring chance. They had an open cage, Team Red, and who was the one who got back and deflected the puck away from the open net? Lane Hutson, who was laid out on the ice a couple seconds before. There was a moment where he was walking the blue line and he got tripped, and then he got hit, and then he got attacked by two players, came away with the puck. So he's got that fight in him that successful small players have. Guys like Brendan Gallagher, who you get hit, you're down on your knees or on your butt, and you find a way to maintain possession of the puck or get it back right away. I'm just not worried about him. He definitely needs to gain weight for sure. It gets a little bit stronger, but I didn't see a weak player in terms of being pushed off the puck or being beat in puck battles in the scrimmage there. I saw a guy who was there with his peers, strength-wise and intelligence-wise, way beyond them. So I think he's going to have a very long NHL career. I think he has Cale Makar-type breakout potential.
The thing is, it's a 4-on-4 scrimmage at
for sure.
2 in July, which is not playoff hockey. And that's the thing, you mentioned Ben Sherratt, and what you said is right. He's maybe not the most skilled player defensively, but he's a big reason why the Canadiens went to the Stanley Cup final in 2021, along with Petrie and Weber and Edmondson, the four Clydesdale, as Luke Richardson called them. And, Vegas wins the Stanley Cup this year. Their smallest, all their defensemen were 6 foot or taller, and they had one guy who was under 200 pounds. So for Lane Hutson, playoff hockey, as Joel Edmonds said, it's the NHL on steroids. So if or when the Canadiens do get to the playoffs, that's another question mark. Can Lane Hutson compete in the playoffs at the size he is? The skill level is off the charts. This kid is so much fun to watch. As I wrote in the column, watching him at the development camp was like watching a guy playing shinny hockey on the outdoor rink with his friends. He was just buzzing around everywhere, up and down the ice, trying moves. One of the things I really liked, he said, I'm never afraid to make mistakes. And that's so many Canadiens prospects over the years have been handcuffed because of that fear of making mistakes, which was driven down from management and coaches. You make a mistake, and that's gone now with Marty St. Louis. He wants these players to play free, wants them to have the ability to make mistakes, and that will help Lane Hutson when he gets here. But again, if he can, and I don't see why he can't add 10, 15 pounds of muscle over the next couple of years, he's a guy who would probably do him a lot of good to stay 4 years at university, the same as what Jordan Harris did. Take that full 4 years to develop physically and then come into the NHL. And if he can do that, I can see him playing in the NHL. But the playoffs, it's another story.
And I think,
Rick, if you were coaching Lane Hutson, how would you approach him?
well, first of all, there's a kid that's got incredible anticipation and hockey smarts that can't be taught. So that is obviously a huge start to be able to play in the NHL. And that being said, you've got some kids that come in that can make their way around the ice and make good choices and play within their capabilities. And one thing remains the same is with a guy in that size, the expectations to go in and knock a guy off the puck in the corner isn't part of it. So you have to work with your intelligence and your ability to use your stick and your speed to get into those areas and be effective in maybe stripping the opposition of the puck. So that is a big bonus for a young guy like that. I'm really excited to see how he's able to put that into use with the higher level of play with the big guys. But he has a natural instinct to be a real good player and having to understand, and he will, what he needs to do and not do to be effective, to play at the NHL level.
Well, there's no question that Lane Hutson might have the most hype going into this season for college coming up for the NCAA, and we'll see what he does then. And from the reaction that we got from you, Stu, and from Andrew when you guys were physically there in Brossard, it seems like this kid could be special. We'll find out how he is. moving forward. Don't forget to submit your questions and comments here in Hockey Inside Out. We look forward to conversing about that in a future episode. And check out the YouTube page for all the Hockey Inside Out episodes. And sign up for the newsletter at MontrealGazette.com/newsletters. And for the content, for bonus content that is, and full episodes, head on by Hockey Inside Out. On behalf of Rick, Stu, and Andrew, wish you a great week. We'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.